ICE arrest a Massachusetts high school student. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's go ahead and jump into this video immediately, see if this takes us, guys. Let's do it.
This is anti-American. It has to stop. And it vindicates the Trump administration when they say we're stripping visas from people who engage in this kind of ideology, who think that this is the way that you settle scores in this country. That's not what we do here. And they're trying to get them out.
We're learning the man facing charges with carrying out that attack in Boulder is an illegal immigrant. He overstayed his visa. And acting ICE Director Todd Lyons is here. We were just talking to Trey Gowdy about this, put up on the board for everybody, the timeline. We know that he was here. He was told to leave. He was given a work authorization, but that expired. He overstayed that. How many people do you know of have overstayed their visas? And is there a push, I imagine, by you at ICE and across the administration to try to find them and get them out before any other things like this happen? Not that all of those people would commit these kinds of crimes, not at all. But something like this makes you wonder, like, if he hadn't been here, those people wouldn't have been attacked.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad you kind of pointed that out, because we do need to stop kind of lumping every single individual like they are the same exact Trinidad type individual. All right. But yeah, let's continue.
Something like this makes you wonder, like, if he
We'll
hadn't
speak
been
more
here,
at the end, guys.
those people wouldn't have been attacked.
Right. Thanks, Dana. Well, I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, for sure. There's a big push right now on ICE to go ahead and identify all these individuals that have overstayed their visas.
It's
We have
gonna be a
millions
lot.
that have come in,
Yeah.
all across the last administration that have overstayed their visas and overstayed their welcome. And one of the main missions of ICE is to go ahead and arrest anyone that we can take an enforcement action on that has violated immigration law. And violating their visa and violating that commitment to leave on time is one of those enforcement actions. And we're focused on that. And like your point, we want to go ahead and we make sure we take these bad actors out of the country before anything like this could happen. Because under the last administration, the screening just wasn't there. We don't have the intent of what a lot of these people came for. While many may have came for the American dream, a lot have come here to commit crime, commit terrorist acts, or just not be the person we want in our neighborhood. So ICE is focused on finding these individuals and removing them quickly.
Yeah, I definitely think a good amount of them absolutely came for some type of their idea of what the American dream actually is, let's say. I don't think that people have come specifically to commit crimes, not specifically large scale, at least. On a smaller scale, most likely, yeah. We have a lot of enemies, guys. We've done a lot of crazy things around the world. We've toppled a lot of governments, guys. We've done a lot of crazy things around the world here, guys. To be real, we have enemies. But I do think that the majority of the people saw Hollywood movies and then said, you know what, we need to be in the United States of America, white picket fences and things.
It is pretty galling, right? He's from Egypt. He said that he was scared to go back to Egypt and yet was not scared to pull this kind of a terrible attack against these people. We'll have much more on that coming up. In the meantime, in Massachusetts, you had,
right there.
I think, the largest ever raid, or at least netting of arrests of 1,461 people. That's the largest so far. And those that were arrested, 790 of them had criminal convictions, and 277 had what we were just talking about, final orders of removal or deportation. Tell us more.
No, and Dana, it was a great operation, and the fact that it was over the course of a month really shows the commitment of the men and women of ICE here in Massachusetts and all over New England. And we took a whole-of-government approach. We used all of our partners to include diplomatic security, the U.S. Marshal Service, ATF, FBI, DEA, to really locate and arrest these criminal aliens. One highlight for this operation is the fact that it was successful because we worked with our joint partners in a sanctuary state like Massachusetts, where it's extremely difficult. Where we had Operation Tidal Wave last month in Florida, there was a week-long operation working with our state partners. That's a state that cooperates with us. Here in Massachusetts, we don't have any cooperations from the local departments or from the state, which makes it extremely difficult for ICE to get out there and find these bad guys.
One of the things is, obviously you arrested a lot of people, but the Democratic governor, Maura Healey, is focused on one person. It's an 18-year-old. Local media up there in Massachusetts says his name is Marcelio Gomez, apparently 18. And she wrote this: I'm demanding immediate answers from ICE about the arrest of a Milford High School student yesterday, where he is and how his due process is being protected. The Trump administration continues to create fear in our communities, and it's making us all less safe. Apparently he is 18 and helping helping with the volleyball team there.
Okay.
What can you tell us about this case and his whereabouts?
Well, I can tell you the fact that he is an overstay, much like the individual that we were just talking about in Colorado. One of his parents, his father, was the target of the operation. He was driving the fatherless vehicle. And ICE, like any other law enforcement agency, if we encounter someone that is here illegally or has violated the law, like this young gentleman did, then we're going to take action. But
it's interesting, though. Wait a second. I mean, I understand it had to be done, right? But whoa, all right. So the father was the one who basically brought the kid in at some time, overstayed his visa. The kid was driving the father's car. And then the kid gets deported. What's going on with the father? I'm guessing you're going to find the father, et cetera, now, obviously. I can tell you this right now. This is going to garner a good amount of, eyes, specifically. This exact one here. Now, don't get me wrong here. She's I guess the mayor has said, or the governor has dictated here, that the Trump administration is making America less safe. What are you talking about by that? If you pay attention to the first story that was kind of spoken about here, the guy from Egypt basically said, "Hey, listen, he's scared to go to Egypt, but then also the woman then responded that he's not afraid to commit crime in the United States of America. You know why? Authoritarian type like setups in certain places in the government are absolutely probably a little bit necessary." That sounds very anti-American, actually. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. We need to have a little, like, massive amount of toughness, and there's no way that you can kind of go against the words that someone is basically dictating. All right. If we can do that, then we can clean up a good amount of the systems that we do have that are just completely being taken advantage of by people who have never paid a single dollar, let's say, into our taxes. What about that? I mean, what about that? Think about that for a second here. The reason why he was afraid to go back to Egypt, because he knew, right? There are certain places around this world, you can't mess around with, guys. You can't. And Biden has allowed the United States of America to basically be looked at like a place that can consistently be messed around with. Absolutely. Like, consistently mess around with us, guys. It's completely fine, apparently, in the eyes of many people on the left, guys.
What I'd say to the governor is, does she ask every police department when they lawfully arrest an 18-year-old what's going on with them? I think what she needs to do is let the federal government focus on what we're doing and get these people who have overstayed their visa and violate immigration law out of our country.
It's a good point. Maybe we'll have a chance to ask her that very question ourselves. Thank you, Todd Lyons.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you're going to be able to ask her anything because she doesn't sound like she complies to orders, guys. To be honest here, guys. All right. Massachusetts is definitely a place. It's like a stronghold in that specific region where they're just like, you know what, listen, we don't care about the law. What's the law got to do to us, guys? Nope, not us. But all right, guys. Hopefully, sometimes we can kind of be able to fix this, and definitely with the budget basically moving to push Tom Homan to arrest about 1,000 a day, 3,000 a day, I think is what his number was here, guys. I can imagine how this is going to get spicy. Yes. And I'm sure we'll see more of this. Absolutely. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.